Yo, yo, yo. Hello, hello. Hi, Don. Safe as Don. I hope credit's with you. I can't, I can't confirm that. I bought the top at resistance. Fucking hate to hear it. Before I start, shout out to the sponsor of the show, which is FTX, as usual. I mean, this one is like not planned or whatever, but still, given they support us through thick and thin, might as well give them a shout out. And yeah, if you want to check them out, their link is in the description. And yeah, we'll talk about crypto, Bitcoin specifically, because I don't have time for the altcoins, but it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. Let me see if everything worked. I'm guessing audio video is fine because people seem to be responding somewhat. But yeah, so in general, oh, I need to remove these, otherwise people are gonna be flooded out like mad. These ones. Okay. So what we've basically done yesterday and today, right, is closed above resistance. And this is something we talked about on last stream, right, where I was like, I could see this go, kind of get back into this consolidation here and then just nuke. And that's exactly what happened, right? We closed above resistance, but context was so that we were actually still running into this one and nuked it. That's why I've been saying like 46.4 is the area, not necessarily 44.4. And yeah, it nuked from there. And a bunch of people kind of say it's because of the China FUD, whatever. In my opinion, it's been weak for a while now, as you can kind of look at the SPX in comparison to crypto or like Bitcoin specifically. Right? So this here is basically where crypto topped and started rounding out, right? And as you can see, or like it's the same, doesn't really matter, either one you take, right? And as you can see, like Bitcoin crashed down, actually made a lower low, which the S&P didn't do, right? The S&P just made a higher low. And then also, let's remove all of these again. Crypto had like a lot, or like Bitcoin had struggles getting back above where it started breaking down from, right? I mean, you can see how the SPX just kind of went all the way back, right? It's pretty much exactly where it started breaking down from. And then you can see, like, even before today's FUD event or whatever, how far crypto is away from that top, right? So it's like you have a bunch of signs of weakness, and then you get like a little bit of bad news or whatever, and it just starts rolling over. That's how this shit works. And it doesn't have to mean that it's all over, right? And we're seeing a bounce right now, and you might be saying, oh yeah, it's crypto again, blah, blah, blah. This is basically like, this is the SPX pulling it up. You need to see Bitcoin actually start outperforming the traditional markets, because as long as it's weaker than the traditional markets, it's just not a trade, right? You don't want to be holding it. Or like, I mean, you can hold it, but might as well hold the traditional markets if that's what's trading stronger, right? Because if the traditional markets nuke, and we've seen this, this was like a 4% nuke. Crypto or Bitcoin or everything in crypto is gonna nuke harder, right? Bitcoin nuked 20%. And then it bounced, and it bounced harder, obviously, but it never went back where it started from. So there's like a bunch of weakness there. That said, like if you see the S&P make new highs, it's gonna be positive for crypto as a whole. So there you go. But TA wise, I mean, disregarding all of this like correlation crap, because like at the end of the day, this makes trading crypto really shit, right? If Bitcoin only goes up if the S&P goes up, and only goes down if the S&P goes down, most of our edges are gonna be gone, right? You don't want to be trading shit like that, because the S&P, like, professionals trade this and non-professionals trade this, And it's much, much easier to trade crypto than it is to trade the S&P. So the more it gets kind of correlated, the worse it is for any kind of trader, in my opinion anyway. Because like if you have an edge in the S&P, you might as well trade that, but most people don't. Like it's just how it is. Like most people don't. So that's a little bit of a struggle. But TA wise, ignoring all of this crap, because I mean this is just mega boring garbage shit that no one wants to deal with. TA wise, we've kind of made a lower high here, broke down 3 times from this one. Like you have 1 push, 2 pushes, and you kind of have the 3rd one coming in right now. And now the question is this daily support gonna hold? Because that's kind of what I'm looking at. 42.2, like this area. If it's gonna hold today, I could see us go back up again into like the 44 region. If it breaks, I just think we're just gonna fall over. So that's kind of like where I'm watching right now. I don't think if this is in any way like my previous invalidation, we talked about this last stream, was basically we go back to 50k. I think we're just gonna moon straight up. Now that we've done this recent move, I think that invalidation is actually pulled down a little bit. I don't think it takes a move to 50k to be bullish anymore. Now that we've had this kind of shakeout or like FUD event, whatever, if that gets engulfed, I think we're just gonna moon. So right now, like I think you kind of have like as a bear, you have an invalidation in the 45k region, which is pretty nice because most bears that I've talked to anyway, including myself, been like short from the 47 region. So that's like even if you're invalidated, you're still net like a few grand of price movement. So yeah, it's a pretty nice development because if this FUD kind of gets engulfed, and this is something that you always see, and it's something that you have to watch out for. Let's say you get like a nuke based on news. If that gets engulfed off of like you don't get bullish news or whatever, it's just price action pushes it back up. Usually you get at least a squeeze, and that squeeze in this case, let's say we go back above here, would easily take it into the 50k region. And at that point, we're way too close, in my opinion, to this high to not just take it out. So like this is positive development, in my opinion, for bulls and bears alike, because it's much easier to be bullish now if you get positive price action. But then again, like this looks pretty damn bearish to me. So like I wouldn't want to be longing anything down here. If anything, wait for like the close above 42.4. That's like the least it has to do, in my opinion. If it can't even manage that, I think just take it, roll it over, go below 30k. If it can close above 42.4, there's like this range to be had, this tiny one. And then whether you break up or down, just gonna decide the next move. So that's kind of my view. I took the liberty of updating the title. Yeah, Kret's fucking fuming every time I make a video because of my titles. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. So yeah, that's kind of like, that's my view on this thing. I think it's bearish. I think probably gonna break down, but there's really, really tight invalidation on that thing, which makes it amazing to trade because you can flip really easy, right? How nice is it that like if you're a bear, your invalidation is up here, and then you can just flip bullish for like this entire amount basically. And if it actually breaks down, you can be bearish all the way down here. Like as a bear, you're really, really comfy here, but as a bull, you're just waiting for like at least some sort of strength that you can long into, and then you're really comfy too. So I actually like this a lot. This spot, whether you're bull or bear, like me being on the bearish side of things, I'm happy even if this plays out bullishly, because at the end of the day, I'm gonna take some profit out of my short and then be able to kind of just buy a shitload if it plays out bullish. And if it plays out bearish, I can just swing my entire position all the way down to like 23k. So pretty nice, pretty neat. I love these things. Like it's the same with any kind of non-news events or in general. Like whenever you get news in situations like this, it just shows you where the market wants to go, and that's the best kind of information that you can have as a trader. What were your green targets on the chart when you first started? It wasn't a target, it was just someone asked me for like what I would think would be the most probabilistic monthly chart, and I had these on, which is like have a red candle here, a red candle here, and then round out here and then just go back up again. But that's like, it's just me pulling shit out of my ass. Doesn't have to mean anything. And I'm not trading that way anyway. But like if I had to make a guess on how this monthly is gonna play out, it's just gonna be, you start bleeding down here, you have a lower high, you go towards 14K and then mega bounce, but the monthly is not really useful for any of that, and I'm not trading that anyway. It's just because I got asked, and I wouldn't like trade that. It's not target either. Like I'm not targeting 14K. Like I said, I'm targeting 23 with my short. So pretty nice movement. I don't think there's much more to say, honestly. Any questions to that? I think like in general, you want to be watching the traditional markets. That just mooned, so obviously you're gonna get a bullish movement in crypto as well. Pretty much everywhere. You can see that on every single chart on the USD pairs anyway. So it's really important that this stays up. If it starts crashing, crypto is just gonna crash harder. And then you also wanna like, what you wanna see, and you don't wanna necessarily just copy trade this, right? You see this go down and you're like, oh, Bitcoin's gonna go down as well, and then just short it. That's not necessarily how you wanna play these. You wanna see how strong is the SPX versus crypto. And I mean, you saw like this rally took us all the way back to where we started. So that's usually like a good sign for market. And then you swap over to like Bitcoin, and then you see that that's not even close to happening, right? So therefore you can kind of see that there's some weakness in crypto. And then the opposite is true, obviously, right? Let's say this mega moons from here and the S&P shows weakness, then you can assume that once the S&P dip is over, crypto is just gonna mega rally. And that's something that we've had before, right? Back during the March crash, crypto went early and went hard, but then like at the end of the S&P nukage, crypto actually went up, and then this followed. What would make you cut your short? Will you just wait till it gets stopped out? No. Like my short, I'm short from basically in here, right? So in the 47 region, somewhere there. And I'm not gonna wait till it's back at break even. If we go back above here, I'm gonna be out already. Depends on like how, like if this shows some strength, I'm not gonna wait for this either. Like if this starts grinding up and I can see that it's probably gonna go towards my stop, I'm gonna get out as well. So I'll pocket this at the minimum. And at the maximum, I'm gonna take it to 23. So those are the two scenarios. I don't care about the low time frame stuff, because I think we're in such an ideal area to kind of swing trade that it makes no sense to get out early or do whatever. I don't need to trade this around. It's not even like the biggest position. It's a decent win if it goes to 23, just because the move would be so large, but it's not necessarily like worth it to trade around. So 23K most likely. No, that's just my personal target. I think it's less likely to go to 23 than it is to go to 50. It's just the risk reward setup makes it so that that's worth taking for me. I'm not saying like I think it's going to like 23, 60% of the time from here. I'm saying even if it's just 30% of the time, like 3 times it goes up from here, 1 time it goes down. But my setup is basically like, I mean, at this point, right? Like I said, I'm in from 47. But at this point, my setup is basically I'm in from here, my stop loss is here, and my target is all the way down here. And then you can kind of see why that makes sense, right? From like a risk reward perspective, even if it's like unlikely to go there. And I think it's not necessarily even that unlikely to go there. So there you go. Dawn, I might have missed something. Didn't you say you couldn't and didn't want to short? Yes. In Germany, the rule is basically this, that like, let's say you make $1 million on a winning trade, right? And then you lose 1.5 million on a losing trade on the next one, right? You cannot really, like, as long as this is all for derivatives, by the way, you cannot really offset the losses that you've taken with the 1.5 million with your 1 million's winnings. So what you have to do is basically you still pay the taxes for your million that you won, but you still lost like more than that. And then you kind of get fucked, right? So usually how it used to be is you win a trade, like let's say you win a trade for $1 million, you lose a trade for 700K, and then that's the end of the year, and then you have like 300K that you have to pay taxes on. That's not the case anymore. Nowadays you have to pay taxes for your winning trades and your losing trades, and you cannot kind of subtract them properly from each other anymore. So it's absolutely terrifying to trade a lot. Because, I mean, if you trade short time frames, for example, and you trade volume of 100 million and you have to pay, like, and you make like 5 at the end of the year, you still have to pay taxes on all your winnings, and then you get completely fucked. It's probably not going to stick, that tax law, but I'm not willing to risk it. That's just not worth it. But I saw like I was almost certain that this was going to play to the downside, and I was certain I was going to swing it. So was willing to take the risk on this one. But I'm not going to trade it around. And this is why I didn't take profit here at support, even though like I wanted to. Because let's say I took profit there and then re-entered my short, like whatever, at 42. And then got blown out, I would still have it's 2 different trades at that point, and then you have to pay more taxes and garbage like that. So I'm not willing to trade around whatsoever. I'm just holding. But yeah, it's annoying. Is that just for derivatives or just as opposed to spot? Yeah, it's just for derivatives. So if you trade spot, you don't have that problem. That's why I've been trading spot basically. And I don't mind only trading spot. It's just like this was pretty obvious to me, like the 47, 48 kind of setup with like in confluence with Evergrande, kind of tethering on collapse. Just made sense. So there you go. You can't short spot exactly. You can only sell your spot. And I wanted to go like negative crypto. Like I wanted to short or like have basically negative exposure to crypto, as in I wanted to make money if it goes down. I didn't just want to sit there and buy back lower, because I thought like that was a good swing trade to be had. And so far that's right. And the reason why I'm just going to take profit in profit is because I don't want to take any losses. Fucking sucks. Tethering, not tethering? Yeah. Whatever. So there you go. I mean, I don't want to. People have always like there's a bunch of workarounds, but it's not worth it for me. I'm just gonna take the 100 or 99% obvious trades, and don't bet too big because I don't want to get fucked by taxes. Market goes down, goes live to tell you the market has gone down. Oh, and he's short. Dude, stop talking, man. For the people that don't know, and I mean, that's everyone, like I've been telling credit about my short. Basically, like this went up, right? And I shorted somewhere in here on the way up, and it went up further. And I sent credit like P&Ls of like a part of my short, and he was like close, and it fucking nuked. And then he was like at this bottom down here, he was like, this is bullish, it's gonna go up close. And I was like, no. And it mega bounced. And then he said close the entire way up, bullying me into trying to get to close my short. And now it's nuking again. He's been trying, like Chris doing his best to make the market go up. Bullying me out of my short position, which isn't big enough to make the market go up anyway if I close it. But yeah, I mean, that's it. That's Bitcoin. I think with regards to the altcoins, one worrying sign on the altcoins is that like a bunch of them have actually, like in the time that Bitcoin went down, they've actually gone up, which makes me worried that people are actually buying altcoins again during the dips. You see it on a bunch of these. Just screams for like another shakeout. I'm generally not bullish, but I'm willing to kind of argue that point if we go back above 42 point something today for the close. I think that's like the best bet for the bulls. If we go above there, we could make a higher low there and maybe even shoot up, right? So that's the minimum. You get that. That's at least something. Lower time frame wise, like this can do whatever the fuck it wants to. Like you can see that this is not necessarily like the low time frames. You're just gonna get chopped to bits because you're trying. Look at this. Look at this. You're trying to trade the S&P, and then people are like, I've got such a big edge in crypto. But in the end, they're trading the S&P, and I can almost guarantee that you don't have that. So as long as that's happening, there's no low time frame trades to be had, in my opinion, anyway. How are you always plugged in that you managed to catch this one? I didn't catch it. I was like... So if you're looking at like where I entered my short, right? I didn't actually catch the short, as in like I didn't catch it on the way down or anything. Like I said, I got in here and then it chopped around my entry and went quite a bit above for like a while. So in this one, I didn't catch it. It just like, I thought, okay, you have like a high here. This would be like a good kind of lower high area to be made. And then I saw like the Evergrande stuff. We wrote about it in the newsletter and I was like, okay, I'm pretty sure like no matter what happens, you're going to get some panic out of that. So more than happy to take an entry or like somewhere in here. I don't even remember, like either on the way up or in here. And then it went up and then it crashed. So I didn't catch it. I just predicted that it would do that. And in this case, like this one, I didn't do anything. Like usually I would, whenever I trade these things, like I see like a close like this at support, I usually close and then re-enter at the next resistance, which is either 42.2 or 44. Both of those would have worked fine. And I would have made some more money. But like I said, tax-wise, not wise. So not doing it. Why are you so bearish and why do you hate all altcoins? The reason why I'm bearish is pretty simple. You have like a high here, you have a macro lower high here. If this breaks to the downside, you pretty much confirm that relationship and then your target has to be quite low. So I think it just makes sense at this point to be bearish, even more so if your invalidation is so close by. And with regards to the altcoins, I mean, most of those are just scams, right? 99% of the ones that are in my list are scam. In the sense that not necessarily made to scam people, but just made or like promising shit that they never can deliver. And most of the shit doesn't even work. Like ETH even, the one that's kind of heralded as the best altcoin out there, barely works when people use it. So, I mean, I can speculate on these things, but calling them like anything but, I mean, anything like, okay, this is the future, whatever, it just seems rich to me. Because if like the small ecosystem that we have uses these things and they start breaking, and this isn't just ETH. I mean, Solana broke, ETH broke multiple times. You have like a bunch of these that stop working when people use it. So it makes sense to kind of be at least on the cautious side of things. Like, I'm still going to speculate on all of it, but for me, like when you see all the promises being broken over and over and over again, it just makes sense to like kind of be guarded against it. What is your bottom target for the bear market once we drop below 30K and bear market is confirmed, being now the complacency bounce? I mean, I'm not going to take it below 23, and then I'm just going to buy again somewhere if it's a bear market at all. But yeah, I mean, for me, I'm just going to be on the lookout. Like, I would want to buy high time frame support, but 14K is too far away. So I'm just going to trade it and see where it goes. But in general, like taking it anywhere below 23 and even 23, like, I mean, this is a raging bull market, right? High time frame. So even asking for 23 is a lot. And I see already a bunch of people are acting like it's guaranteed that we're going down there. That's not the case. And I always kind of preface everything I say with, okay, where is my idea invalidated? Because if you actually start being bullish again, like people, I'm saying I'm short from here, I'm targeting down here, and I'm more than happy to kind of get out here and flip long, right? And what happens is people see that I'm short from here, targeting here, they short somewhere, whenever they see it, they target this, price goes back up and they're like, okay, this guy must be wrong or whatever, I'm just going to hold on. They get blown the fuck out and then they start blaming me for it. And it's so fucking frustrating. So there's no guarantees. I'm not even above 50% sure that we're going to go to 23. It's just my target because I think risk reward wise makes sense. And anything beyond there is ape mode, I think. And yeah, doesn't even have to go there. If we show any strength in the next few days, I'm gonna close my short and maybe even like start buying again. It's just right now it looks completely garbage, so I'm not buying. China was in the charts. It kind of was though. Like that's the thing. Like the news isn't really a big deal. And I mean, you could argue, okay, yeah, I mean, there's like, oh, the news kind of caused all of this, but the market wouldn't have dumped if the news, like, if it wasn't weak. The market only dumps, like, you get bearish news all the time. And if the market is bullish, it doesn't give a shit. If the market is bearish, however, even small news like the one that we had right now, or like earlier today, causes a big move. And that's what happened, right? So it's like, people are like, it's not, like you're saying it's in the charts. You're saying that, I mean, you saw the weakness, whatever. Yes, like that was visible, right? The Bitcoin struggled to keep up with every other market. Every other market was kind of moving up. Bitcoin struggled to keep up and couldn't. And then it could have been other bearish news as well, right? You could have seen like whatever, Elon say something and it would have nuked the same way and people would have said the same thing. Yeah, haha, you saw Elon in the charts. That's not the case. You see weakness in the chart and then the only way that's gonna play out is a nuke most of the time anyway. Like this wasn't 100% guaranteed, but it was pretty damn obvious that it was a weak market. Willy Woo doesn't like you on Twitter? I mean, I bet he doesn't. I shit talk him all the time. What about your guests? That's a good question. And I'm actually going to head out. But yeah, that's all from me. I think it makes sense. It's pretty damn straightforward. We go back above where we nuked from today. It's probably bullish, and we're probably gonna moon. We close below 42.2. It's probably gonna mega doom, in my opinion. We close above 42.2. Might actually start chopping in here, and then either head up or down, and then you can do whatever the fuck you wanna do. So that's my view. Hope it helps. Thanks for coming by. Thanks for FTX for sponsoring the show. Appreciate that. And yeah, fingers crossed that we actually get some good movements, like good price movements, and not chop. But I don't think chop makes much sense at this point of the market. Just look at it. Very, very unlikely to happen. Keep streaming, buddy. It's going up. Nah, I gotta go. In general, whenever you see these like big candles, you get like some sort of retracement afterwards. And something that's very, very unlikely, it happens in very rare occasions, is that it just shoots back up completely. Usually it just goes up and then just finds its middle ground and starts chopping. So something like in here, maybe it goes up a little bit, goes back down again, and then starts chopping in here. And then it decides where it wants to go. So that's kind of what I'm expecting short time frame. But like I said, like this is traditional market space. So crypto TA doesn't even have to play any part anymore, short term wise, at short time frame wise. So yeah, thanks for coming by. See you guys next time. Bye bye.